Hi. Today, let's talk about the practice without mystification. Something's been sitting with me throughout the last couple of weeks of this series, and that is that we've been spending a lot of time mapping what doesn't work. The argument doesn't reach the parts that runs, more introspection can't observe the machine from outside the machine. The change that actually happens doesn't look like change, and the change that feels like change mostly isn't. Now, that's a lot of negatives, which is appropriate. The negatives are doing real diagnostic work. After all, this is negative philosophy. They're clearing away false routes before the right one is visible. But at some point, the question has to be, so what is the practice then? What is actually being asked? And I find when I sit with that question that most of the language available to answer it is not especially helpful, because the words most commonly used, presence, awareness, the work, transformation, are words that inflate what is being asked while simultaneously obscuring the mechanism. They make the practice sound profound. They also make it difficult to say anything precise about what you're actually supposed to do. Today's piece is about stripping that language off and seeing what's underneath. So, what is the mystification doing? I want to be clear that the mystification is not accidental. It's not that people are being dishonest or evasive when they use this language. Something real is being pointed at. The difficulty is that the language points rather than describes, and pointing has its uses, but it's not the same as instruction. Presence points at a quality of attention that's genuinely different from ordinary concentrated focus. It points at what Simone Weil, in her essay on school studies, called a mind that is empty and ready to be penetrated by the object, not already occupied with its own account of what it's looking at. That is real and it matters, and presence is one way of gesturing towards it. But being more present tells you nothing about how. It gives you an atmosphere to aspire to, not a mechanism to engage with. And the word practice has the same problem. If the practice is something ineffable and grand, a state the serious people have arrived at, then you can always feel you haven't quite arrived yet. That feeling of not quite arrived is itself a machine output. The mystification can keep the practice permanently at a slight distance from you, just enough distance that it never quite has to be done. So let's look at what it actually is. Strip the language. What is the practice? It is a specific quality of attention, Weil's kind, not concentration, but reception, applied to a specific target in a specific conditions. The target is the body's registrations before the machine has processed them, the sensation before it's been named and recruited into a narrative, the tightening before it becomes anxiety, the pull before it's been converted into a story about why you want the thing you're reaching for. The conditions are real situations. You're not sitting on a cushion. It's not in a designated session with the intention to be mindful. The conditions where the machine is actually running. A conversation that activates the pattern. A situation where the familiar pull is already operational. That is all it is. A specific attentional capacity pointed at a specific input in specific conditions. Not transcendence, not a spiritual state, not something that arrives when you've done enough of something else. Remember that if you want to look into this practice, go to negativephilosophy.com, find the booking form and book your free half-hour session. If you're not logged on to Martin Butler's Patreon, please do so. It's more than worth it. You'll find a wealth of knowledge and information there. If you're interested in what I'm doing, log on to my Patreon. We also have Substacks, my Substack, The information is a little bit more dense, but it's a little lighter because the Patreon really gets into the grip of it. I can also point you to Amazon, where I have written my Spinoza's Ethics, which is not mine, it's Spinoza's. It's a modern translation of Spinoza's Ethics with glossary and explanations. Also, please look on Amazon for Martin Butler's books. He's written 5 books, all are exemplary. I would start with Mad Dog because that's the latest. My favourite, my personal favourite, is Conversations with Jelly. And the most popular book on it is A Minority Interest. Anyway, thank you.